Yo, it's me, Doncho. Welcome back to the Hideout, you guys, and I'm so glad you guys can make it. And as you can tell from the title, we're talking about Phantom Seer again, you guys, and we're talking about 3 chapters, chapters 25, 26, and 27. I'm so glad you guys could tune in, and I know some of you guys who do come back for the Phantom Seer videos are wondering, whoa, Doncho, where you been? Well, I did post on Twitter, and I forgot to make a post on the YouTube community because I got that after deciding to make this decision, is that I am now going to be moving fantasy videos to bi-weekly. I know this is 3 chapters, and that's because there was some scheduling hiccups and things had changed, but it is 3 chapters this go around. But from here on, we'll be doing bi-weekly, which means we will be doing 2 chapters per fantasy video from here on out. And that's just because the fantasy videos are, you know what I'm saying, not necessarily as popular on the channel yet, and I feel like they do better when there are a couple 2 chapters instead of just doing 1 chapter per week, because Phantom Seer has a different type of pacing towards its story, right? Makes sense. But for us covering these 3 chapters today, I hope you're excited because these are some 3 amazing chapters, and I'm really fucking excited for next chapter. And so the next chapter after that, I hope is really good too. So when we get to the next video, we can talk about some really crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, before we get into it, like I always say, if you do like Phantom Seer and you do want more Phantom Seer content from me here at Doncho's Hideout, please make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you comment down below any other Phantom Seer content you're interested in, things like that, and maybe we could do more for that type of stuff here on the channel. And if this is your first time being here, like I always say, make sure you hit that subscribe button, you guys, and make sure you hit that bell icon. That way, you don't miss anything else from us, okay? You get the first notification the moment something from us comes out. Isn't that exciting? Isn't it? Isn't it? It should be to you, because to me. All right, y'all, cue the intro. So before we get into the chapter, you guys, first thing I want to say is basically how I'm going to structure doing this review for this video, okay? I'm not going to be going through each chapter like this part is chapter 25, this part is chapter 26, this part is chapter 27. I feel like that's kind of lame. I feel like the best way that we can do this, you guys, is basically talk about how I feel about everything that happened overall in these 3 chapters. And then as you guys see all the time on the screen, you'll see this moments I'm talking about, pinpoint exactly what chapter that moment is from, and then you guys will be able to follow up with me. That way you know the discussion that I'm having. So first and foremost, let's just say that Phantom Seer, like I always say, I'm going to keep saying it because I want to be the one to make this stamp that whenever it's not in that damn school, it's greatness. The Dollhouse arc so far has been fantastic. I really have been enjoying the Dollhouse arc. I think there's a lot of great things that's been placed here, especially when we're getting more character development on Oigawa, aka the Tengu Sitter, us seeing more power stuff introduction with the whole trans situation that happened in chapter 26 with the new lady in the suit. I keep forgetting her name, but I love her as well. I think it's Miss Konda, I believe her name, if I remember correctly. She's awesome as well. I just love that we're getting Riku in this situation of, you know, her trying to help out Iori, and then, but, you know, she's still kind of cognizant of things going on, and she's not stuck. She's stuck in a healer position currently in this moment going on, but I'm still loving, you know, dialogue and things out for her and things that she's saying and things and moments that's happening around all the characters going on right now. What I would have to say though, right now, my MVP is Oigawa. I'm really loving the Tengu Sitter, you guys. He's really awesome. He has this aura to him that just feels very respectable. He stands for what he believes in. He's a really down to earth guy. Even him like not really liking Iori and like having that confrontation type of personality with him, I think fits him very well. And I'd love just seeing what we're seeing from him and him countering what Amelia, the doll that we find out, and us first thinking that she was the puppet master, but the doll, now that we know, that claims that all shaman are all shitty and just see phantoms as tools. Well, he's proven to her that she's wrong. And I feel like Miss Konda, and I hope that's her name, because now I'm telling myself that is her name. But I hope Miss Konda sits there and she believes as well, like, no, like my phantom isn't a tool as well. And she's more like, yeah, I'm with him. I agree. I'm with this guy. We feel like our phantoms are family members, or we feel like they're not just tools, they're people that we fight with. And us shaman do that. That's what we do. And he's telling her, listen, you still hate shaman, and that was an old time, like, you know, that was in the past. There's like small percentage of people of shaman out here that do that type of shit now. I mean, they're out here, but there's like a small percentage of them. And Amelia, the doll, she just feels entirely differently, and it's just that contrast of the characters basically having this moment of just this is what the real ideals of the real world are and what I see as a shaman, and this is what you have now misconstrued it because you're on the negative side of the plane and you're on the darkness, and this is all you can see. You can only see that negativity. And even as finding out that this lady, the doll puppet master name is Amelia, and that she is a doll, that she's not the puppet master and is the little girl Retta, is just wild to me. And in chapter 27 was getting the explanation of Retta's parents getting in an accident, and the Sinjo chick coming down and saying, hey, if I give you this arm, you can make this dog come to life. It's making me wonder, where did she find this little girl? And did she possibly kill this little girl's parents? And then that is how she got this little girl to do this. And if she killed their parents to make this girl do this, does that mean this little girl already had some type of affinity? Which she most likely did, because if I remember correctly, she mentioned that people didn't want to take her in because they said that she was a monster or something like that. So she must already have some type of affinity toward phantoms. Maybe it was a conceiving hand or maybe something of that nature, and the parents knew about it and was able to deal with it and handle it. And maybe her parents were shamans. And the central horror woman, or phantom lady, humanoid phantom woman, killed them, and then now using their daughter for whatever situation they want to do. Or maybe they weren't shaman, but they were able to live with their daughter. They were able to figure it out, because that's what parents do, right? So I don't know, I feel like there's a lot of stuff that's now building up, you know what I'm saying, and Phantom Seer that's bringing it to light. And to step back a little bit, coming back from chapter 27 and stepping back a bit and going back to chapter like 25, I believe, us getting that beginning of their fight, and then Oigawa and Miss Kondo coming in and them getting ready to fight together, and us seeing them go at Amelia and puppet master at the time, but Amelia being so powerful. It's really cool to me. The talisman ability was so awesome, with the white talisman and the black talisman, being able to set the black talisman up as traps and hit him from the bottom, hit Oigawa from the bottom, and the black talisman hit people in the back, and then doing the poisoning and misconduct. It's just so many cool things that was just happening in that fight. And I love Phantom Seer's choreography. It's getting better. It's getting better and better each time. So I'm glad I'm seeing that type of progression, right? Like, I'm really happy that I'm seeing Phantom Seer turn from had really good choreography in terms of but more so big slash choreography, and it had good interact choreography. But now I'm seeing in this arc there's more little more, you know what I'm saying? There's a little more action, there's a little more swinging, swinging weapons, you know what I'm saying? There's a little more to it, where abilities are clashing and you gotta move around abilities. And I'm liking seeing that coming out of Phantom Seer. They're making the fights come out really more interesting, and they're popping a little bit harder, especially like I said, that trance ability, like I think we saw in chapter 26. Going back to that, it's so awesome just seeing Miss Konda's Phantom bite her arm and then absorbing that energy in, and then her being in a trance mode and then going out and fighting. And then it's so interesting because she says right before that to Amelia, him dodging, or him taking that blow for the Tengu, which I know you guys are dodging all over the place, and that's what I told you. But him taking that blow for the Tengu was a surprise to Amelia. Oigawa was jumping in front of the Tengu, about to get attacked, and it's saying big brother to him, and it was a shock to her. She didn't think that was going to happen, and she tried to keep her composure and make it seem like, oh no, this, that, and the third. But in reality, no, you've met your match. You've met people who are not what you always think shaman are, and they're fighting with, against you, and fighting with them truly and genuinely. So now you don't have that up of trying to, talk to the phantoms and make them feel like they don't really care about you type of deal. That's not what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? That kind of bag is gone. We're not going to run that trope. I love that. You know what I'm saying? That trope is going to get thrown out the bag. We're going to have to go a whole different way with that. And I like that we're handling that early on in the series, and we're knocking that out, and we're moving on. So let's continue. Like I was saying, Miss Kondo brings that up, and she's basically saying to him, saying to her that, that threw you off. Now we in here, what else you want to do? And then she takes the bite, goes into trance mode, and starts scrapping. She can't really get no true, genuine, true stuff off, but she's in this scrap. And then Oigawa's all okay, she's doing that, I can do that too, which I find so cool. So now we know that they can do that. The phantoms can take their powers and go into their shamans, and it's kind of like Shaman King. Kind of reminds me of Shaman King, you know. Yo taking them Maru, where everybody taking their guardian ghost and putting them inside their bodies and putting them inside of a weapon, and now they have the oversouls and those type of things. It really gave me that feel. Shaman King coming April 1st, shout out, you know what I'm saying? But it really gave me that feel, and I really loved that. And so it made me go, okay, this is awesome. And then seeing Tengu on the air, did we get that lore though of that the Tengu coming down in the sky or whatever was seen as a bad omen. And you know what I'm saying? Then he comes down and he strikes in that big blast, and Tangent Wakanda or whatever, and then Amelia at the time, aka Puppet Master, Cinder takes that blow. You know what I'm saying? She's good in, she takes that in, and then they're all like, okay, she's all like, yeah, well, I'm good, I blocked it, whatever, I was worried, but we should be straight. And then he's like, oh, don't forget, you know, the bad omen always strikes twice for the Tengu. Boom, they blow her ass from under. And I love that type of tangent, because then she gets shocked again because she's thinking, oh shit, they just hit me in unison. They just did a move on me in unison. So that's crazy. Like she's not really understanding that someone other than the girl Retta that she was dealing with can work with phantoms and not be using them, right? She's really coming to this type of conclusion that not everyone's your enemies, and I don't think she fully has got hit with that conclusion yet. I think she still believes that she's right in everything that she's doing and everything that has been done already, you know what I'm saying? But I think that this is like that piece, you know what I'm saying, of like the author and the illustrator showing us like these, you know what I'm saying, this character is going to have to see that things have not changed in the world and that these shaman are not necessarily the same. And now this fandom that this girl has been used by has now really been caught in this scheme and this gripe. And I think that type of scenario and plot line is going to be really good to see from Phantom Seer, because I think Phantom Seer does lean to the more emotional side, where it does try to be emotional. It does try to make you feel engrossed in the character's emotions through showing a lot of that emotion, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of type of scenarios like that. So I'm happy to see that that type of thing is still going on for the series. But finally, that leads us back to chapter 27, you know what I'm saying? We're going to get to the end of pretty much these 3 chapters, because that sums up pretty much all the grand things that was going on within them. In chapter 27, like I said earlier in this video, we're talking about how the girl gets manipulated basically by the Senjo, and that her parents possibly killed by her, and that she tells the doll lady, or she not names her Amelia. That's how we get the Puppet Master, aka real name is Amelia. She really gets her doll, and now the girl is working or whatever. And this really gets interesting because now she's summoned this doll god Phantom, which is this high tier, high super powerful Phantom. And so now it makes me wonder, are we going to get like and please in the comments correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm already like lost, because I entirely can be. Are we going to get a solidified ranking system for Phantoms? And when I say solidified, I'm saying a doll god. So like, and a doll, and they said a doll god, and this is even higher ranking, a high ranking doll Phantom. Like, if it's called a doll god, I would assume it's a high-ranking doll Phantom, or maybe I'm reading, or maybe the way that was introduced was translated a little wrong, or maybe the way I read it isn't being interpreted correctly. So it's making me feel like it's called a doll god, but it might not be like the same strength as like another doll god Phantom of like a whole other different type of stature and being, right? So it makes me wonder, what are these Phantoms classifications? How many different like classes are there? How many different stances are there? How many different like brackets? Like it's kind of confusing me, and I could be just missing something. So please in the comments below, let me know. I know someone will, because I know I'm missing something. I know I am. It's me. It has to be me. Okay, it has to be. And not like I'm lost. Like when I read it, I was like, oh shit, okay, yeah. But then I was like, wait a minute. But then I'm like, what are the other classifications that of these other dolls around you? What are they? You get what I'm saying? If this is the doll god, what are these? If you guys are getting my drift, that's what I'm basically trying to fill it out, and I may have missed something, which is all I want to know. So Continuing on. She says that, and the thing is basically all stringy. It's like pulling everything, and it's whooping everybody's ass. Condo's trying to do the trans thing. Nope, grab you, throw you in the wall. What's his name? Oh, and I didn't talk about, she came out. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm missing one of the key points is the fact that the homegirl, the main thing that stopped their scrap to be moving on, even though she was basically done, Amelia, was the fact that the real puppet master, the Redder girl, had finally made a doll for Oigawa. And she has said, we finally got the samples, this, that, and the third. And so now she has made this doll for him. So she's broke this man's leg, and now this man's on the ground and can't do anything. He's incapacitated. And then, Miss Kondo tries to, do a trans thing, tries to attack and get in the mix, and she can't do anything. The dog, like I said, the string doll guy is grabbing her with the strings and throwing her left, right, throwing it against the walls, this, that, and the third. Riku's trying to hit Iori, and she's thinking about what the situation is, what's going on. And it's so cool how you see in the art how the yarn is coming or whatever, like it's coming to grab her, and then grabs her ass, and just brings her into the room or whatever. She's like, okay, it's time to take you to what's the name. So Hunger's about to be kidnapped. And then his sister, Iori's sister, calls him, and the phone answers itself. And which is so crazy because I'm like, how does it answer itself? It rings, it answers. He's laying on the ground. It rings, it answers by itself, and then she starts saying, Iori, wake up. Like, Riku gonna get kidnapped. Kondo and Oigawa are gonna die. But you're gonna wake up. You're gonna save them. It's so crazy to me because I'm like, how did she make this phone answer itself? Because it had to be her, right? I'm assuming. How did she make this phone answer itself? And Iori is poisoned on the ground. How is he getting up? Unless Riku got enough of the poison out, and I missed that. I may have missed that. Iori may have got enough of the poison out, and I may have missed that, but he's hurt on the ground. She said he was still unconscious. He gonna wake up in time? He gonna wake up in this quick instance? And I'm fine with that. I just want to see how, because I feel like it's gonna be crazy raw. So I'm like, what's about to happen here? That's all it really is. Like, cause I'm like, okay, how is he about? She's confident in me, and she's aware. Like, so your sister's watching everything. She's aware of what's happening, and she's not coming to arrive. She's telling you to get up and go help them. So she has every belief that you should be able to handle this. I want to see you handle this. I'm down to see you already handle this. I am very interested. I need you already to handle this. I am very 100%, 1,000% ready for you already to handle this. Yeah, I'm ready for that. I am definitely ready for that. But thank you so much, you guys. I'm so glad you guys tuned in for this Phantom Seer video. And like I said, that was the 3 chapters, 25, 26, and 27. I tried to run through them as quickly as possible, you guys. I didn't want to harp too long or anything and get through the chapters and talk about how I felt about everything that had been happening. And from here on out, like I said, here at Dancho's Hideout, we'll be doing bi-weekly Phantom Seer chapters. 2 chapters every 2 weeks. Okay, you guys, I hope you guys will tune in for that, and you guys will love to see more from me. And like I said before, if you like this video content, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that comment section below if you want any more from us. And if you want to do any type of monetary support here at Dancho's Hideout, there's always the Patreon and the coffee links down below in the description box. Thank you guys so much. And like I say, it's Dancho. Peace. Young Noise.